Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the PBA50 Dave Small's Championship Lanes Classic presented by Rotogrip. I'm PBA Hall of Famer Randy Peterson. Joining me, special guest, the owner and proprietor here at Championship Lanes in Anderson, Indiana, Dave Small. Dave, thank you so much for taking on some of the announcing duties. Look forward to your expert commentary. I know that there's not a thing that you don't know about every player out here.
I wouldn't go that far, Rennie, but it's a pleasure to be here. We're looking forward to a great top five. It's been a challenging week for our players, and we're going to see some excitement tonight, but don't be surprised if we see maybe one or two fall off in the channel tonight because they are forced to play pretty far out, and it's going to be an interesting night. Great field, great field.
You actually have a stat on how many gutter balls we had throughout the competition. We'll get into that as play begins, but a star-studded stepladder finals spearheaded by the tournament leader, Norm Duke. Norm Duke finished with a 5-1 match play record. Bob Learns in second, followed by Parker Bohn the third. Geoff Safina is in the number 4 seat. And in the number 5 spot, getting to the stepladder finals by just one pin, Amleto Monacelli. 3 out of the 5 players, all Hall of Famers. And, I mean, the place is packed with PBA superstars. Sam Macarone sitting right in front of me.
Did you catch the reflection off his head? Was that it?
Well, you know, I used to room with Sammy. It was myself, Sammy, and Ron Palumbi Jr., and Sammy is like family. And, you know, anytime I get a Sam Macarone sighting, I get all jittery.
And we're underway here. Opening shot for Amleto. Beautiful shot to start off the match. Amleto throwing urethane out there. What we're going to see today from the players, Randy, is we're going to see the attack to the outside. We have the cheetah pattern out. It's a very challenging cheetah, to say the least. Every one of these players has had at least one ball on the channel this week. We've had 193 gutter balls this week.
Well, this isn't your grandfather's cheetah oil pattern. It's been modified.
Oh, and a 7-10 to open with.
Well, welcome to the stepladder finals, Geoff.
First appearance for Geoff Safina. Heck of a nice guy. Back where I'm from, back in Warren, Pennsylvania area. See Geoff playing outside, just outside the first arrow. Ball hits flat, and as you said, the quitter 7-10.
The quitter 7-10. Geoff Safina bowled for many years out on the regular tour and is a multiple-time regional champion, but he loves the outside part of the lane. That's his bread and butter.
I'll give it to him anytime. He finished second at one of our regionals. We had the cheetah out. In fact, we do a cheetah championship every year up in Fort Wayne, and Geoff has been top 4 or better for the last 3 years. Swings it way out there. Great shot. Good comeback. Now that shows some class right there, Randy. You know, open with a 7-10, get the jitters out, but come back with a great shot on 33.
Well, you know, if you were going to pick a favorite in this opening match, surprisingly enough, it wouldn't be Amleto Monacelli. It would be Geoff. Amleto, quite honestly, I still don't know how he made the stepladder finals. His ball reaction and the line that he has to play is certainly not what would be his favorite.
Definitely, because going right to left today, difficult to get the corner pins out, and there is an out of bounds out there. You get it out too wide, it's just not going to recover at all. So it's really, really touchy out there. And you see Amleto's going to start it right about the 5-6 board, out to 3-4, smacks the 10 pin out. Just, God, I wish I had that release, Randy. Well, it's so pretty.
Yeah, and you know, he's a physical specimen and has kept himself in amazing shape. But there's that urethane bowling ball, and that really was his savior. He used it for the last 6 games of match play, and it got him to this position, but it has allowed him to play far enough to the right.
Looking for a quick 3-bagger. 21-pin lead. Great shot.
Pretty simple looking. Old school urethane.
Old school urethane, taking out the out of bounds, taking out the overreaction. And you see Amleto, once again, same shot. Right about 5-6, out to 3-4, boom. All 10 in the pit. Let's see how Geoff comes back. 7-10 was a good shot. Wasn't the best shot possible. It was a good shot. Double here cuts that lead. Lays it down just so smooth. Oh, pretty shot.
I've always felt that the pocket 7-10 was the worst break in bowling, not the solid 8, because now you get an open frame. you know, you hit the pocket, and maybe it should have been just a weak 10 or maybe just a 10 pin, but instead it's the 7 and the 10, and it's an open.
Oh, I totally agree with you, Randy. I mean, and we've seen a monster number of 7-10s this week. Just with that ball getting out just a little too wide, maybe not reading quite as strong as it should, or as what they call the wiggle out there. This is a big strike here. This will cut his lead down to just 11 pins. A little bit light with the 2-8. Got a little fast with his feet on that one.
Yeah, missed it just a hair, and the ball never read. This ball just kind of hydroplanes the whole way down the lane.
And normally when you see the cheetah pattern right there, you would see the ball actually hit that dry spot and really come back hard. The pattern this week has been much, much softer. And like I said, 193 balls in the chat this week has been, even Pete Weber had 9.
That's a
Good
great
cover.
That's a great spare, throwing it straight at the 2-8.
You got that right. And we were talking about that earlier, Randy. The 2-8, the 3-6-10, the 3-6-9-10. That was almost getting a double making that spare because they were so challenging going across the lane this week.
Yep, the middle part of the lane hooks, outside's tight.
Amleto, 20 titles. Last title on the tour was the 2016 Japan Cup. Looking for the front 4. Really gives it room. Leaves
Holy cow.
Just the 4-pin on that one.
That ball came back from Indianapolis.
It sure did. That ball, he got that about 2 boards wider than he had the last couple of shots. But that's what we saw this week. You may get it back. You may not. It may overreact. We're not sure. So it's kind of a catch-22.
That reaction there, to me, reminded me of old Cheetah.
I completely agree with you on that.
You know,
absolutely.
You get it to that spot early and it overhooks.
Once again, great replay by Jeff Goodyear here in the booth driving the TriCaster. Amleto gets it out just about 2, just a 4-pin.
You know, Jeff Goodyear's a great pilot, just so you know.
I love Jeff Goodyear. Awesome guy.
You think he can pilot a TriCaster? Man. Thanks, Randy. Look
way out there. 3-6-10 that time. And you hear the crowd out here kind of oohs and ahs, and because they're flirting with that gutter.
You know, I got to tell you, though, as a player, I like seeing this. If I get it to that spot and it overhooks, that tells me that I've got free hook to the right. That's going to loosen my swing up. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to try to throw it that far to the right.
I completely agree with you with that, Randy. Absolutely. Great cover by Amleto. And like I said, any of the combination spares this week, the 3-6-10, the 2-8, the 3-6-9-10, making those was, basically getting a double.
Yeah, I mean, it was an adventure. Every time you had to shoot a spare. I was talking earlier on Xtra Frame, if you're a right-hander, you leave a 2-8. All you got to do is move your target 2 boards to the left, leave your feet the same, and that's how you make the 2-8.
Mixer right there. And that's been the key hit this week here at Championship Lanes is the light hit. You can carry the light hit a lot better from the outside angle. See Jeff playing right about the 5 board out to 3, nice and smooth.
Well, you give a guy like Zaffino, who is rev challenged, you give him angle to the pocket and the great pin carry here at Championship Lanes, and he's going to shred racks.
Absolutely, and we've seen that all day. He had a real slow start, though. I mean,
yeah.
He was really slow start, but he turned it on really good. Let's see if we can get a double here. Cut Monacelli's lead down to 19. There we go. There's that light hit we're talking about.
Those 2 hits looked identical.
Once again, you see Jeff just so smooth. Not a lot of revs, but he'll hit the same mark over and over and over again. And you basically think it's kind of boring to see him do the same mark over and over, but that's how you're going to win on this.
Yep.
Let's see what Monacelli can do. Monacelli went 4-pin, 3-6-10. So the last 2 shots have been high. He gave it a little bit of room, but it went a little too early. If he hits that spot farther down the lane, probably get a little bit better reaction. This time the 2-4-10, and that's what we fought all week here, Randy.
That just looked faster to me. I mean, even from the booth and looking at a monitor, this just looks fast because the location looks okay.
Looks like he didn't quite catch it at the bottom. Didn't quite go as wide. Kind of caught that little hang spot out there. And the 2-8-10, the 2-4-10's been the equalizer all week. Gave it a run. And that is a big swing in the match now.
Zaffino now the new leader.
By 5 pins.
It's amazing how far technology has come, and yet Amleto's using urethane. That's like throwback to the 80s.
It is, but it tamed those lanes down. It tamed that break point down for him. That's a better shot. See the difference?
Oh.
That was a better shot. Leaves a solid 10.
Looked a little softer, and the ball picked up in red.
And you see him with just that unbelievable release and so much power, so smooth.
Oh, he's always been so good at keeping his hand to the inside part of the ball.
He'll just shoot it cross lane. Nice and simple. One thing to teach our young bowlers out there, watch these guys when they shoot their spares. They don't have to have a whole lot of revs. Just pick it up, throw the ball at it. You don't need to have a lot of revs and a lot of power to knock a single pin over. You got 13 inches to knock it down.
Yeah, it's all about rotation, and you don't want any end over end and throw it on a straight line.
And this is a big shot here in the match. We talk about key shots in the match right here. Zaffino's up 5 pins right now. You know, he's on a double, got some confidence. Let's see what he can do with this. See if he can make it a 3-bagger, take a 15-pin lead. That looks really good if it gets there. Not quite. 2-pin.
That is the slow down signal that Geoff just showed you folks. I wonder if Amleto's urethane is affecting his ball reaction and carrying oil down, because that's what urethane does.
Urethane definitely pushes the oil a little bit farther. Doesn't pick up on the ball quite as heavily as it does with a resin ball, so that may tighten the outsides up a little bit. I believe Amleto's the only one tonight using urethane.
I think for the other players, though, for Duke and Bob Learn, I think that what it's going to do, it's going to create hold. And I think it's just going to help them. You're pushing oil down the lane with that urethane ball in that spot, and I think it's just going to create a little bit of hold. And I'm not sure I know two better players out here that are good at firing it from out than Norm Duke and Bob Learn.
Oh, agreed 100% with you on that. 8th frame here. Jeff's looking to get started back up. Now they're solid 10-pin. And I think just exactly what you said, Randy, with the urethane ball, we're seeing just a touch of push now. You know, we've had a couple of solid 10s. See the ball's going down, hitting the 40-foot break point, right about the 5 board. Solid 10-pin. Probably one of the best spare shooters, and I probably just jinxed him by saying that, one of the best spare shooters out there. Nice and smooth.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he just made the 2-8 throwing it straight with a plastic ball. It's pretty impressive to me.
Three-pin match right now. Good opening match. I don't think we're going to see a tremendous amount of high scores, but I think we're going to see some good matches.
Well, this shot's going to be telling after the 2-4-10.
Hit it harder.
And he
got it back.
Looked like he moved right. But I agree. It looked like he caught a handful at the bottom. But that's the way you come back. And, you know, this is all about experience and trusting your game. And Amleto, after the 2-4-10, comes back with a really nice shot there.
Beautiful shot. Just look at that release, the lawnmower release, as we used to call it years ago.
Yep.
This is a big shot, biggest shot of the week for Amleto right now.
I remember when he first came out on tour, all the players were like, you're never going to win with that kind of game. You got to change your entire game, kid. I don't know who taught you how to bowl in Venezuela, but you're not going to do anything with that game.
I think he proved a few people wrong with that.
Yeah.
For the lead here, 9th frame.
Same thing.
Same thing. Didn't quite get it as wide and leaves the 2-8.
Gets the scoot.
And again, like we were talking about early on, the lanes are very, very touchy. Very touchy out there. And you see Amleto's reaction. He does not want to shoot this right now. Not in this position.
Well, the question is, how's he going to shoot it? Is he going to play? Is he going to shoot it from out?
Looks like he's going to shoot it from the outside line.
Oh, he moved in just a little bit and just snapped on it.
All right, good cover, Amleto.
He moved in and snapped on it and made it curve.
Amleto right now has a potential 2-12. If he can take 3 strikes in the 10th, which on this condition was a fairly good score and won a few matches.
212 wasn't a bad score.
Not at all. Geoff Safina right now can go out for 225. So let's see what happens. That's in a little. 3-6-10. You saw it off his hand.
Yeah, it was left the whole way.
And like we talked about, there's a hang spot outside, but there's no room to pull it in. And he was about 2 boards left of where he intended to lay that ball down. 3-6-10. Interesting. We have an even match, Mr. Peterson.
Well, even if he covers a 3-6-10.
Yep. That's got to go. Oh, good cover. And like we said, that's like a double this week.
Thank you, Friction in the middle.
Thank you very much. Right now we have an even match. Both players are on spares going in the 9th frame. Both players can shoot. 212 is the maximum out. 202 pace for both right now. Be fun to see 9th and 10th frame roll off if, or is it the 1 ball now? I forget.
1 ball. I think it's 1 ball now.
1 ball now.
Yeah, and they just alternate lanes. And Geoff would actually get choice of starting lane and position because he's the higher seed.
This is a must.
That's left again.
Oh, no. Oh, when he gets the break on the Brooklyn.
Saw a lot of that this week as well.
Yes, we did. That was a solid Brooklyn. We saw a lot of runaway Brooklyn.
Yeah, that was flush Brooklyn. Last couple of shots, very suspect for Zaffino, as this shot's well pulled, but it's still 10.
That's right. And that probably, I hate to say it, you know, even though it's a Brooklyn, that's going to force Amleto to get the first one.
Right.
Or into double to win.
Right.
So this one right here is going to force Amleto to double, period. He has to double to win now, but this will really ensure that he has to double. That's a better shot. And a solid 10-pin.
Of course.
Of course.
It's normally what happens. It's called poetic justice or bowling justice. Get the nice break with the Brooklyn crossover, and then you throw it good and you leave a ring in 10.
Another good shot.
Well, Amleto can step up now and double and win and move on.
A 2-2 game for Geoff Safina. His first appearance. It's not a bad start, not a bad game on a not exactly easy condition out there.
Well, you got to look back at the start that he had, too. Remember the pocket 7-10 in the first frame. Otherwise, he could have started with the front 3 and changed the entire complexion of this match. But right now, Amleto has to strike on this ball.
Get
Nope.
there. No way.
Not only did it not get there, it missed the head pin. Yeah, the execution on that shot didn't look great. And watch him come up and out of this shot a little bit. Right there, you see that?
Yep. Did not get the fingers in it. Hit the spot, the hang spot, and 1-2-4-8. Best Amleto can shoot is 198 now.
Zaffino's going to move on, and he's going to take on Parker Bohn III, and Amleto's tournament life comes to an end. We'll be back with our next match right after this. Stay with us, folks. All right, folks, welcome back to the PBA50 Dave Smalls Championship Lanes Classic presented by Rotogrip. I'm Randy Peterson, along with Jeff Goodger and special guest Dave Small. Dave's handling the play-by-play action, and I'll be doing the color as usual. So our next matchup featuring Parker Bohn III and Geoff Safina.
Zaffino.
And Parker absolutely dominated qualifying.
20 pins a game.
Yeah, he averaged 240. The next highest player was Bob Learn at 220. And let's see what type of ball reaction this man has. Because if he has anything good, might be tough to beat today.
Starts with a 6-pin. Nobody gets it cleaner through the heads than Parker Bohn from the left side. Parker's going to be right about the 3 board at the arrows, holding it right out to that edge, straight up the line for just a 6-pin to open with. Not a bad shot. Hard and straight.
Well, this man's made a lot of money playing that part of the lane.
He certainly has, and there really isn't a nicer guy on tour
Oh, no.
than Parker.
You don't win the Steve Nagy. He's won the Steve Nagy Sportsmanship Award like 42 times or something. You know. some deadwood being cleared, and your great staff here does it immediately.
Thank you, sir. It's been a fun week. We love having the tour come. That's why we host 3 events.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, if the tour had more proprietors like you, we'd be in pretty good shape.
Ah, there we go, Geoff.
See if you can get the ring 10 out on the left lane.
And we're going to see what exactly with Amleto's urethane did that affect, as you were talking about earlier. Did that create a little bit of hold? Did it create a little push? Let's watch as the righties continue forward.
Well, and honestly, you look at a couple of his match play wins leading into the Stepladder finals. He had a player miss a 10-pin to give him the win in the 10th frame. He was very fortunate in match play just to get to this point. And I think he was fortunate to win the last game against Amleto. So
absolutely agree with you on that.
But the key is that it's okay for that kind of stuff to happen, and now he has to take advantage of that. We've all been on the other side of that, where you outbowl your opponent by 50 and you end up losing. So, right now this is extended play for Geoff Safina.
Parker looking to put his first X up. Another 6-pin.
Interesting.
From that angle, from looking at that last shot, it looked like he was just a couple of boards in from where we've seen him most of the week. He's been a little bit farther out than that. That looked a little bit in for just the 6-pin. And he bowled beautifully in the qualifying. Outpaced the field by 20 pins and opened with back-to-back low 180 games.
Yeah. Well, he was a monster in qualifying, and he just really made a mockery of this oil pattern that was not easy. He made him look stupid.
Averaging 240 in the qualifying, closest competitor was 220. But he's down 11 pins quickly to Geoff Safina. Looking for his first strike here. Lane 33, 3rd frame. Much better shot. Good mix, and that's been the key this week. Hit him thin, watch him spin.
This is a very high percentage shot that normally always carries here at championship lanes, and once again, it did there.
Looking for the front 3. Oh, and another beautiful shot, Randy. Quickly takes a 21-pin lead.
Our good friend Phyllis back in Las Vegas just sent me a picture. She said, love watching you guys on the 80-inch TV. Phyllis, I hate you because you have an 80-inch TV.
But I love you because you love us. 3 great shots to open with for Geoff Safina. Looks like he's going to step back off the approach. Something disturbed him a little bit. That's great concentration to actually have an interruption, be able to step back.
I'm going to go to Vegas and watch something on Phyllis's 80-inch TV. I don't know what it is yet. Maybe the Super Bowl or something, but I'm going to go watch something on her TV.
The archive of this event.
maybe I could convince Phyllis to pull up like one of my old shows if we can find one in color.
1986 AC Delco Classic.
Was that in color?
That was in and it was not wooden balls either.
I'm pretty sure the lanes were wood.
Yep. And it looks like we have a little jammed pin on the top. Our mechanics will get that fixed right away. Please, God, don't let there be a problem.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they're on it.
Yeah, my guy's been pretty good this week. That's always the prettiest sound when that click comes in. So
Yes, love
I know
it.
that they're setting the pins. All right, ready to go. There we go. Looking for a 4-bagger. Open up a quick 31-pin lead. Uh-oh. Oh, and just the 6-pin. Good break. The good thing is he pulled it far enough to get away with it.
Yeah, but I'm a little concerned with some of his shot making. I mean, this is just not Zaffino-like. I mean, and I know it doesn't take a whole lot.
You remember your first time on TV.
Yeah, I shot 150 something.
I remember that in Tucson against David Ozio.
You're really scaring me. You need to get a hobby.
No offense, you sucked that day.
I did. I stunk.
It was awful.
Yeah.
It was awful. But you remember the butterflies and the nerves and the
Oh,
lights
God,
and,
yes.
and the heat.
Yeah. You remember who else was on that show? It was Ozio and Mike Durbin. Both Mike Durbin and I shot 150s, and Ozio won.
Yes, he did. Parker down just 20 pins right now, early in the first match, or second match, pardon me. Double here. Cuts to 10. Yes, beautiful shot by Parker, and that's what we've seen all week long from Parker is just quality shots.
Well, when doesn't he make quality shots? I mean, he's so good from this part of the lane, and he's always been a shot maker. The only knock, if there ever was one, against Parker was he was a little rev challenged, and with his ball speed, when the lanes got really slick, that was the only time that Parker struggled.
Going for a three-bagger here. Make the match even. Looks good. Oh, pretty shot by Parker. And you just see the flawless execution in his game. It's shoulders over the knee square to the line, foot square. Just, to all you young kids out there, watch this style. Timeless style. Simple, easy, smooth. Sexy.
Pretty good stuff.
You don't win 38 titles. That's
Left again.
Oh,
That was the frozen rope to the 1-3.
and you see his reaction. He's kind of like, It looks like he's getting a little fast with his feet. See what I mean?
Well, look at his footing.
Yep, getting a little fast with his feet, and that's the one thing he was doing earlier, was doing slow down a little, slow down a little.
Well, right now he's feeling pressure for the first time, and it's coming from Parker Bohn III.
And that's some serious pressure right now. Strike here. Takes the lead back. We talk critical shots in the match. Randy, this is probably first one of them right here.
Another issue with his footing.
Oh, and a pretty shot.
You see the ball laying there now, and that could have been what was created by Amleto Monacelli throwing urethane.
Once again, right out there around that 2-3 board. Bam.
He's finding a way to make it work.
This man here, Parker, doesn't get intimidated.
No. This guy's been around the block before.
A few times.
This ain't his first rodeo.
Nope. Striker in 6, even the match back up, and nice to see a good scoring pace right now. Pretty shot. Knocks that 7-pin out.
Well, he got it to the spot, which was just a little bit left of target. It wheeled back, and he slaps the 7 out late. And this is always a good sign for a left-hander.
Right out to that break point, boom. And we've seen so many corner pins this week. So many corner pins.
So we've seen a lot of corner pins?
So many corner pins.
All right. Emphatically, lots of corner pins.
Parker taking a re-rack on lane 33.
How dare he?
I don't know.
Your pins are perfectly on spot.
Well, there's 2 reasons for it. You know that as well as I.
Yeah, he might be buying it a little bit of time.
Yep. Or I had a crappy rack up there. For the 5-bagger. Oh, good shot in the solid 7.
Yeah, great shot. 4-pin, 4-pin, and then this ring and 7, the only blemishes on his scorecard.
But we see Parker around the pocket every shot. That's how he got to. That's how he took the lead. That's how he kept the lead. But when you drop those pins and go into match play, it's the luck of the draw.
Yep.
Great spare shooter across lane.
Very efficient game Parker has. Efficiency of motion. Nothing wasted.
1-pin match right now, Randy. Let's see if Zaffino can get his feet a little bit more comfortable out there. See if he can slow down a little bit. Through the nose, 6-9-10.
Interesting. That actually looked like a better shot, at least with his footing.
Look, just a touch left off the hand.
Had to be, right?
Yep, just
Absolutely.
a touch left. 2 boards left. Didn't pull it far enough to get the break.
Left with a little hand, maybe.
That 7 count is a killer right now because that changes the count.
Yeah.
You now have a Parker Bohn with a 2-pin lead.
Well, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say if Geoff wants a chance at winning this match, he better strike here in the 8th frame.
Absolutely. Right now, Zaffino can get 256 if he can take it off the sheet. Parker going at a 228 pace, potential 258. So we've got a good scoring match here, but let's see if Geoff can respond. That's a better shot, Randy. That was pretty. See, that time he really got off his hand clean and hit the line solid.
Online, hand in a good spot, and a good result.
He is pretty to watch. Just a simple game, low rev, no issue.
He's a lot like Liz Johnson in that he doesn't do a whole lot to it, but you give him angle, and that guy can bowl. I mean, make no mistake about it. But his game is straight. He's not going to move into 6th arrow and start swinging the entire lane.
I can't move into 6th arrow. I don't even know where that real estate is anymore.
Yeah, I get a nosebleed when I get that deep.
Great shot by Parker. Here's the setup right now. Both players going at a 220-plus clip. Parker at 228. Zaffino at 226. Big strike here for Parker. Again, just look at the bottom of the release. So clean.
I just like his positions and what great balance he has. Now, this strike here, or this shot here, if he strikes, there's nothing that Zaffino can do to shut him out. If he doesn't strike on this shot, Zaffino can get up and strike 9th and 10th and shut out Parker.
Biggest shot of the week here for Parker. That looks clean. A little high with the 2-pin.
Looked like it got off his hand really fast. Zaffino, driver's seat now.
Caught that spot earlier. He was about 3 feet earlier than he was last time on the outside.
It
all jumped.
Sorry, Dave. It almost looked like he turned it early.
Anymore, that looks like how I would normally throw the ball. So.
Hey, that works great on my house shot at home.
Works great on my house shot here. Nice and smooth for the 2-pin. Good cover. But the situation now, Zaffino has his destiny in his own hand right here.
Strike here and a strike in the 10th frame, and it's over.
Exactly. Strike here and a mark. Good count. Geoff Safina will move on to the semifinals. Best Parker can do is
Parker can still shoot 238.
Yep.
That's why Zaffino needs the one here. That gets him into the 230s, and he needs the one in the 10th frame to get him into the 240s.
I never said I was good with numbers. I was good with stats.
And I was told there would be no math.
I'm sorry.
I used to keep score when I was a kid. I know a little. I don't always get it right, but sometimes.
Close, right?
Yeah. I'm usually in the ballpark.
Oh, pretty shot. Oh. That sets up an interesting situation.
Strike here, and he's going to take down Parker Bohn the third.
That was probably his best shot of the match right there. Just hit the line solid. Boom.
That was
10 down.
That was a little bit of a Stu Williams follow through there, except not as aggressive.
Strike here.
It's over.
It's over. Anything less, Parker can get up and give it a shot. And he's got a little bit of a break on that. Got the 7-pin out. Shaker's 10.
Well, I think Parker gets the finish on his good lane, too. So I think he's got all of the things going for him as Zaffino almost leaves a swishing 7-10. Still needs to convert here.
Sparrowhead gives him 215 in the 9th, possible 235. Good cover. Strike on the field ball here gives Geoff Safina 235. A great game this week. A great game to lose with 235. That's kind of hard to swallow when the field average was way low. Parker will need a double and 8. You didn't have to do the math on that one.
No.
Double and 8.
I let you run with that.
Thanks, Randy. Very important count. Leaves a soft 10 for a 234. A great game by Geoff Safino. Great game.
Double and 7 now for Parker. I figured that one out on my own.
You're good. John Weber sighting. Parker's only missed striking on the right lane in the second frame where he left the 6-pin. Every other shot on the right-hand lane has been flush. Double and 8. Parker's going to step back off. Looks like he didn't quite have comfortable grip in that thumb. It is starting to get a little bit warm outside. Storms are starting to move into the area. Imagine that Indiana humidity, summer.
There's no humidity here.
Has to have this one. Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot by Parker. One more and 7. And Parker will move on to the semifinal match to face Bobler. You don't give a guy like Parker the chance to come back and beat you. Yes, beautiful, beautiful shot by Parker. That's a double. Now 7 pins, and unfortunately, 7 pins has not been that easy this week.
Yeah, that's why I'm not going to say anything until his fill shot.
I agree. But again, 2 quality executed shots. Beautiful, beautiful finish. 7 pins, and Parker is the winner. Moves on to face Bobby Learn Jr. in our semifinal match. Great finish. Beautiful game, 238. And like I told you, that's a tough game for Geoff to lose at 234. 234 won a lot of matches this week.
That's Hall of Fame stuff right there, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back for our semifinal match. It'll be Parker Bohn III taking on Bob Learn Jr. Folks, back with more in just a few minutes. We are back, everyone. Randy Peterson, Jeff Goodger, special guest Dave Small. Here at Dave Small's Championship Lanes in Anderson, Indiana. It's about an hour north or so from Indianapolis. This is presented by Rotogrip. This is our semifinal match. Parker Bohn III taking on Bob Learn Jr. And Dave, watching Bob Learn warming up, looked like there was a little down lane hang created by Amleto Monacelli and his urethane ball.
Absolutely, Randy. We saw the push down there, but Bob has a tremendous amount of speed as well. And where Bob struggles, and I love Bob. He's from my hometown of Erie, Pennsylvania. We bowled league together. Bob gets a little too fast with his feet. That ball goes sailing, and it's a light shot every time. Let's see what he can do out here. These lanes are definitely a little tighter than when he practiced about an hour ago. Opening shot on lane 33. Hits him thin, leaves just a 7-pin.
I didn't know you grew up in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Originally, I'm from Erie, yes, sir.
So you must know Ron Palumby Jr.
I know Ron Palumby Jr. very well.
I think his parents just celebrated like their 60th wedding anniversary.
Absolutely, I believe so.
I think it was 60, if I'm not mistaken. Incredible. Mr. and Mrs. P spent many a nights at their place in Erie.
Hard straight at the 7-pin. Good start for Bob Learn.
I'll tell you, Bob's been quietly having a really nice season out here on the PBA50 tour.
Second last week as a tournament leader. Looked like he just didn't have the ball reaction last week at all. He just couldn't seem to get the ball to finish on the right lane. Lane 10 up in Hammond. And it's the same situation here where we're going to have a little bit tighter lanes down lane. Let's see how Parker can do. Opening shot. Oh, and a beautiful shot by Parker. Parker is going to be tough to beat, I believe, today, Randy.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's locked in. He's got a great ball reaction, and he's throwing it really, really nice right now.
And like we said earlier, you know, Parker just dominated the field in qualifying. 20 pins a game, that's a lot of wood. That's a lot of wood to.
Yeah. 16 games. I mean, he pretty much owned him in qualifying and
had a 299 game this week, yesterday. Solid 7-pin, beautiful shot. Looking for the quick double. Take him. Early lead. Nice. Knocks that 7-pin out. And that's a difference between we've seen with a lot of the players. We've seen a lot of solid 10 pins, a lot of 7-10s this week. Parker's just been able to get to that half pocket hit a little bit better, kick those corner pins out.
Well, I'll go on a limb and say this. If Parker gets the corner pin out on 33, nobody's beating him.
I'm not going to take that bet, sir. You see Bob Tekken from way out. Soft 10-pin that time. You see Bob's even going straighter than Zaffino was through the heads, playing even a little farther out, trying to get the ball farther down the lane. But like you said earlier, Randy, I think Amleto's urethanes put some push down there. Cross lane. Good spare by Boo Boo.
Well, yeah, Amleto's urethane didn't affect Parker.
No, not at all.
And
not at all.
you know, I thought that it would definitely push oil down and possibly create a little bit of hold. Bob's going to change balls now after shaker 7, flat 10, or quitter 10. And trying to create a little bit more shape.
Yeah, solid 10 that time.
Wow. This reminds me of me. Shaker 7, flat 10, change balls, ring 10. Okay.
I'd have done the first two, but then I'd have probably put the big 4 up.
Yeah, normally, yeah, and I would have changed balls and I would have gotten 6 through the middle. And
That's my game anymore, Randy. That's why I gave it up.
that's why I love bowling on house shots.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Oh, it's great.
My house shot bowling anymore. Hang on. Good cover. My house shot bowling anymore is 4 of my good buddies, a couple buckets of adult beverages, and a lot of laughs.
Good times had by all.
And if I average 230, I'm happy.
I went back-to-back weeks where I went 797, 795. The third week I shot 613. And you wonder why I don't bowl on the PBA50 tour.
Well, you finished second up at Pro Bowl 3 years ago. You bowled great.
Well, I had an incredible run, though. I went second, fifth, second, third, 4 weeks in a row.
Parker looking for the 3-bagger. Oh, here we go. And they're getting stronger and stronger and stronger.
Yeah, and lane 34 is a good lane, and he's going to finish this match on lane 33. But if he gets the corner pin out on 33, nobody's beating Parker Bohn the third tonight.
22-pin lead early in our semifinal match. Parker on a 3-bagger, looking to open with the front 4, take a 32-pin lead, and Bob's hit the pocket all 3 shots. But that's what we've seen all week long. You can get the ball there. Is it going to carry?
Well, a lot of the players couldn't even get to the pocket. But
Well,
I mean,
I was giving them the benefit
Yeah.
of the doubt. Looking
uh-oh.
for a 4-bagger. Oh, and the messenger.
Well, like I
Yeah.
said, if he gets the corner pin out on that lane, he's going to be tough to beat.
He got that ball about 2 boards wider than he'd been. It just comes back half pocket. Bye-bye.
Well, the carry here stinks.
It sucks, I tell you. Bob learned quickly down 32 pins. Looking to get his first strike here in the 4th frame. Ooh,
Wow.
knocks that 8-pin out.
8-pin didn't know which way to go.
No, it didn't. I was going to have to reach over and slap you after making that comment about the carry, and then we leave a solid 8. Didn't quite know which way to go, but down it goes.
Bob Learn with 4 top 5 finishes this year on the PBA 50 tour.
That's a big strike for Bob here. Bob needs this strike to cut the lead to 22 pins because Randy, I'll bet you $5 Parker puts 2 more up on his next 2 shots.
Hard to bet against him right now. Oh, boy.
2-4-10. And that's what I was talking about with Bob. And that push from the urethane ball. Bob can amp it up with his speed, his feet, and got him in a little bit of trouble. Leaves a 2-4-10.
Yeah, that shot there to me looked a little aggressive.
Definitely had a little bit more speed on it than the other one. And like, I can't say this enough to our fans out there. These lanes are not easy. These lanes are not easy at all. Bob's a great spare shooter. He'll give this a good run. It's got a chance. Oh, very close. Bob just broke his wrist back, threw it flat at the 2-4-10, had a chance, gripped right at the end, but he gave it a run. Can't say it was a quitter on that one.
Well, 2 more here, and you're going to feel like Bob's going to kind of feel like when you're playing blackjack in Vegas and the dealer turns up an ace and asks you
Insurance?
if you want insurance, and you have the option of surrendering.
Never surrender. Looking for the 5.
Oh, boy.
Oh, mixes them up.
Well, Parker can be aggressive and still find friction as long as it's out of his hand good.
And he wants this bad. I was talking to Parker earlier today before the round of top 8 came on, and he said it's been a while since he's won, and it's been a while since he said he's bowled really, really well, and this week he's just performed so beautifully. And how about his son winning junior gold?
Yeah, pretty awesome.
That was awesome. That kid is sick. They've been They come in after the qualifying every night here. We just give them a pair of lanes, let them go to town, and they just put on a show. They have more revs in one shot than I have in 5 games anymore.
Well, it's the game today. It's the power game, and all you have to do is watch the big tour and see who's dominating that. And talk about E.J. Tackett and Jason Belmonte. You better have power.
And a lot of it, because the part of the lane that they're forcing you to play now takes that power. For the front 6, half a dozen, cousin. Oh, there it is, Randy. And our fans here, we got a great amount of fans here are thoroughly enjoying the bowling this week. Just another carbon copy shot. Beautiful for the front 6. Bobby Learn right now is unfortunately in a world of hurt. The best Bobby can go out for, and I have to do math on this one, is 234. That's the best Bob can do right now. And he needs all of them out. That ball went early, leaves the 3-9.
Well, now the question is, in my mind, I mean, and no disrespect to Bob Learn, who's a great bowler, but Parker Bohn's going to win this game. So my question is, what kind of ball reaction will Norm Duke have? And will he have any chance against Parker?
That's a great question, Randy. I mean, Duke shot 299 earlier in the round of 5, or the top 8 5-game round. So I don't know. I think Norm was able to go a little flatter and a little straighter than the rest of the field. A good cover.
How often do you see a player throw it up 5 to make the 3-9? That's what this pattern forces you to do.
It's cheetah.
Well, it's modified cheetah.
Extremely modified cheetah.
Right now, it's old school cheetah for Parker.
7th frame looking to get something started, because I don't think Parker's going to slow down. 4-pin this time, and you see there's just push out there now, Randy.
Well, with that ball, and then with the other ball that he was throwing, if he got it right early, it overhooked.
And you see Bob Learn with probably the fastest feet of anybody on tour. Great ball speed. Simple spare, the 4-pin. Good cover. Now the question is, we have not had a 300 game this week.
Have not.
I would love to see one.
Couple of 299s.
I would love to see one. A couple of 299s, a 295.
Now, if he bowls 300 in the finals, you cut him a check for 10 grand, right?
Out of your bank account, absolutely.
My bank account.
You're the rich one, Randy, eh?
Well, you know, that's it's not true.
Oh,
my.
Wow. Well, Greek Church. That definitely jumped out of his hand.
Wasn't expecting that.
Not at all. And that kind of shimmers a little light out there. It looks like maybe he got a touch soft with it.
Look, it almost looked like he liked that out of his hand, too.
He did. By that reaction, he definitely did. It looked good off his hand. It might have just been a little bit soft. It kind of changes the complexion just a little bit. I mean,
No, it doesn't.
Sure it does.
No.
A little bit.
Nuh-uh.
A little bit.
No.
There are closer numbers.
Yeah. Bob's shooting 180. Parker's at 230.
But it's not.
I'm still going to go with Parker on this one.
I'm going to agree with you, but now it's not 280, 180. Solid 10 pin.
7.
No, that's a 10 pin, Randy.
That's a 7 pin.
That's a 10 pin.
Okay.
I got to bust Randy's chop. It's so much fun.
Oh.
I got to bust Randy's chops.
So max score, I think, for Bob Learn is what, like 2-teen?
2-teen. 2-teen right now.
213, 2350, 80, 213.
Parker's going at a 230 pace.
Yeah. So if Parker leaves another Greek Church on the right lane and Bob doubles here, then I'm going to get on your bandwagon and say that, hey, this just got real interesting.
Sometimes you got to play with Randy Peterson, guys. He's so much fun. He's one of my idols.
Actually, what you meant to say was I'm so easy.
No, I wasn't going to say that. He was one of my idols growing up. He's a great guy. Ooh, all right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
See?
Hang on.
See? Told you it's going to get a little interesting.
Well, not yet. He's got to strike in the 9th frame first.
That one he hit a really good on. Hits light. Bye-bye 7 pin.
Great pin carry here.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Really good. Pins fly.
Big double here. Put some, gets him closer to the number we need him to get to 213. See if he can get there.
Chucked it again.
Ooh,
Got it.
Mixer.
All right. Big shot coming up now for Parker Bohn III. And after a Greek Church, the tendency is to give it a little more gas. Parker might even move off of that last shot. And if he does, and it does 379.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. It's two great minds thinking alike is all.
I'd say 9.5. I'll give you the half. Big shot for Parker here. Nicely executed. There we go.
All right, so all he has to do is stay behind the foul line, and this match is over, and he will take on Norm Duke. Both Parker and Norm, PBA and USBC Hall of Famers. Parker with 35 titles, Norm Duke with 38 titles. That's a combined 73 titles between two guys.
How'd you count that so fast? Did you run out of fingers or something?
I took my shoes off.
Just checking.
Uh-oh.
247 that time.
Well, he's going to make this, and then he's going to make another move on this, or make a move on this left lane.
He got that one out a little bit earlier that time, Randy. A little bit earlier, got about 3 feet earlier than where it was last time. It's going to grip a little bit. Good cover. Nice game here for Parker of 231.
All right, let's see what this next shot looks like.
I bet he'll move 2 to the right and one with his mark.
A little old school 2-1.
A little 2-1. A little 2-1 here.
You see Norm Duke practicing off to the left of Parker.
Got the mixer. 231 for Parker. Great game for Parker Bohn. You know what Bobby learned? Bobby learned finish it off in style for 213.
Another top 5 for Bob Learn Jr. Owner of 25 regional titles.
Punt harder. Don't throw it slow.
Pretty shot. And I know this is disappointing for Bob, especially after leading last week and another top 5 finish. I know he wants to be back in that winner's circle pretty bad.
Well, you give yourself enough opportunities, and eventually it'll happen. And it's going to happen again for Bob. You know, the problem is that he puts himself in stepladder finals that include guys like Norm Duke and Parker Bohn. And Amleto, Monacelli.
202 for Bob Learn. See, I told you that the gap wouldn't be quite as big.
Yeah, and I was with you on that, but I was never wavering from believing that Parker wasn't going to win.
Oh, I wasn't either.
Even after the Greek church.
I wasn't either.
Yeah.
202 for Bob Learn if he makes it. Good cover.
Another good week, Bob.
Another good week for Bob Learn.
Folks, we'll be back for our title match in just a few minutes here in Anderson, Indiana. Stay with us. All right, folks, we are set for the title match here at the PBA50 Dave Smalls Championship Lanes Classic presented by Rotogrip. 38-time titleist Norm Duke taking on 35-time titleist Parker Bohn III. Two Hall of Famers going at it. Sitting to my right now, another Hall of Famer, Doug Kent. His brother-in-law taking the lanes first in the booth. Joining me, Jeff Goodger, and our proprietor, our owner here, our great host, Dave Small.
Opening shot. 2-7 to start.
And Dave, Jeff, talking with Doug before the start of this title match, we were talking about Norm Duke's ball reaction, but he also made a good point. He said, I think Parker's ball reactions and his, I think his ball reaction's changing a little bit as well. And we see that in the opening shot from Parker.
He looked like he got a little bit soft with that first shot. Parker's a great split shooter. Boom. And a nice conversion right off. And we were watching, Doug brought up a great point. You brought up a great point while we were watching practice. Norm was struggling to get the ball there to the pocket. We saw a couple of 2-8-10s, a couple of 2-pins. Let's see what kind of adjustment Norm can make.
Well, his ball reaction looked like the right side of the lane had become very wet-dry. Dry to the right, wet to the left.
Solid 9-10. Not the way you want to start. The problem with the cheetah this week that we have out there is there's no place to go. You can't go in. And there is a big dark gray board to the right of where they're at. So there's really nowhere for the players to go at this point.
I saw some players trying to move in and throw to the outside part of the lane. Boy, was that disaster. You have to stay out. You have to just somehow find a way to shape it from first arrow or right of first arrow.
And pray you don't hit that spot down lane and have it hang, or worse than that, push it off into the gutter. Again, 193 balls in the channel this week. I don't know if that's a PBA record or not.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I don't think that either one of these two players are going to throw it in.
We had a bet to see how many balls would go in the gutter, and I think I'm not going to be the winner.
I won with a 0.
You didn't?
Yeah, I said 0.
Did you go with 0?
Yeah.
What did I say, Dave?
You said 4.
Yep.
I said 0.
Great shot, Norm. Kicks the 10-pin out.
And Doug Kent joining us here in the booth. He doesn't have a headset on, but Doug had a really nice week this week and was in contention to make the stepladder finals. He needed a double in the 10th frame and threw it great, left a massive ripper 7. And that gave Amleto really the only hope of getting in, other than Mike Scroggins not doubling in the 10th.
And Walter Ray not doubling either. Great shot there. Interestingly, that Norm Parker's better lane is lane 34, and Norm's going to let him finish on 34. Parker's struggled a little bit more on lane 33. Again, you see just the flawless execution, Randy. Boom, down they go. Parker looking for a quick double here in the third. Take a quick 10-pin lead early in our title match. I'll tell you what, this is a treat for me. 73 titles out there. This is a treat. This is a treat. This is a treat for my fans in Anderson.
I thought you meant sitting next to me calling the action.
Well, it's okay.
It's okay. You can go with the other one. That's fine.
Okay. Hey, if you're buying me a beer, I can change my tune later.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not.
Yeah,
That's not going to happen.
Ah, shoot. Ah, shoot.
Too late now, friend.
It's an honor to sit next to you. You know that, Randy.
It's still too late, Dave.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. Quick double here for a 10-pin lead. Oh, and gets the half 7 out.
Yeah. And I said it earlier, if he can carry the corner pin on lane 33, that Parker would be unbeatable. And watch this little love tap on the 7-pin. Oh,
That's my favorite hit in bowling right there.
it's just great carry here in the center. Championship Lanes has great pin carry.
Keep sucking up. I love it, baby.
I mean, I watched it for the last 3 days.
Yeah, pin carry here is pretty good. This is a great scoring house. Great scoring house. Great league base. Over 1,500 bowlers here.
Wow.
Duke looking for the double to even the match. Soft quitter 10.
Well, he's trying to roll it so heavy and so end over end to blend out the wet dry. And even with this 16-pound ball from this angle, he still leaves the quitter 10. You like that, Doug, the quitter 10? Yeah, the quitter 10. No weak 10 anymore. It's quitter 10. Remember, Doug, nobody likes a quitter.
Randy. All right, a little bit on the right.
Norm Duke, one of the few players on either tour that doesn't use a spare ball. He just uses a strike ball and rolls it end over end.
I actually use a 14-pound spare ball. I need all the help I can get.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I just use my strike ball because I'm too lazy to drill a spare ball.
Fourth frame here for Duke, looking to set up. Down 10 pins. Light shot at 245. You saw that one wiggle very easily down lane. Great replay here by Geoff. Watch the ball start to hook and then stop. There it goes. Starts to hook, stops right there. 245.
I think he's trapped, and I think that that was a little bit left of target, and it just hydroplaned. And I think that because of the wet-dry ball reaction that he has, he's been forced to really stay up the back of it.
That's got a hook.
He missed it.
He's missed it.
Incredible.
245 miss.
Well, this is like a Bigfoot sighting. You won't see this very often.
Not at all. 245 miss. And you see he threw the ball slightly backed up at that one, and he had it going right off his hand.
Green light special now for Parker Bohn III.
That just gave Parker a very, very quick 24-pin lead. Next two. Great shot. Oh, and you see Parker's reaction right now. He is lined up. Once again, just hits the same mark over and over. Right about the 3 board. Straight down the lane. Solid in the pocket.
It's like a shark at feeding time.
That's exactly right. Pork chop in front of a bone. Pork chop in front of a hungry dog right now. It's been a long time since Parker's won.
When was his last win on the PBA50 tour?
2015. Mooresville, North Carolina. Strike here. 44-pin lead. Slapped the 7 out last time. Excellent shot. Oh, yes. Baby, that's beautiful. Both his sons are here right now, having a great time watching Dad. Once again, we see the smooth release, Randy. God, I wish I had that release.
And Parker staying up the back of it as well, trying to blend out this oil pattern, get it to read correctly.
It's got to go. There we
Did.
go. Good shot, Norm. Pivotal shot of the match here. Parker got a 44-pin lead right now. Norm really needs this double here in the 6th frame. Executed beautiful shot right there, Randy. Straight up behind the ball. Dead flush.
Well, right now, if you're Norm Duke, you've got to think that to have any chance, you have to strike out. Pretty tall task on this oil pattern for any player.
Big double. Oh, second solid 9. And we did not see a tremendous amount of solid 9s this week. We saw a tremendous amount of solid 10 pins and 4 pins and 2 solid 9s in one match. That's kind of rare this week.
Well, it's a great shot, and he did everything he had to do to get the ball to Reed. And it's just a pinch high, and the ball goes right by the 9-pin.
Good cover. Oh, yes. There's no doubt. No doubt. This was Parker's week. This was Parker's week from game 3 on the first squad. Started off slow and then turned it on. This is what he's done so well. Just snaps that half 10 out.
7.
Dang it. Why do I keep saying that, Randy?
Because you're right-handed.
I know. Snaps that 7-pin.
We're going to get you a little triangle thing that shows the pin numbers, and you can just reference that.
I normally don't make that many mistakes, but I think it's because, the aura of Peterson's around me. It makes me nervous.
Well, as it should.
And Doug Kent, they're both around me. They're making me a little nervous. If he gets this one, I think it's just about over. Oh, yes. What a beautiful shot.
There's this guy by the name of Dandy Don Meredith that used to sing this song during Monday Night Football. Turn out the lights, the party's over. Norm knows it. You don't see Norm smile in the middle of a title match.
No.
When the match is in hand or when the match is close. Yeah. Parker's putting on an exhibition. Just making one quality shot after another. And deservedly so, because this was his week, leading qualifying by as many as he did.
Oh, my.
There's your ball reaction on the right side.
That one just read right off his hand. No, you either had to miss really, really hard or whatever to get it to go Brooklyn, and that baby just went real early. And you're exactly right, Randy. Parker put on a clinic this week. It was fun to watch.
Doug just said that he couldn't get his ball to go Brooklyn this week. And that just shows you how the right side broke down. And I think a lot of that had to do with Amleto using urethane.
A lot of guys did use urethane this week to try to tame everything down. And unfortunately, sometimes urethane with this much oil gives you that reaction right there. Brooklyn, 2-4-5-8.
And Doug makes a great point. That's what urethane does to a lane. Brooklyn, when he gets it right, he gets it up the lane and it never curves. That's what we call wet dry, or what we used to call wet dry. Now the kids call it the lane's getting cliffed.
Kids, keyword.
Well, that's what they used to call us, Doug, when we were on the regular tour. And you had the senior tour, they'd call us the kids.
Yep.
Now I get to say that. I'm not real happy that I get to say that. I'd rather still be one of the kids.
Oh, my.
Ho hum.
Ho hum.
Ho hum, 290 title match.
Yep. I sound like a broken record, so I'll stop. Just another beautiful shot.
Doug, I'll ask you a question. Now, this being your brother-in-law, you probably know a lot about Parker. Is he still wearing the same size waistband that he was back when he first came out on tour?
I think since he was 17 years old.
Since he was 17. Doug says since he was 17. He's gained.
Oh, and rolls the 3-pin. Yeah. It's Parker's week. I'll tell you what, I am proud and honored to give that trophy to Parker. What a gentleman. What a great week for him.
Doug just told me that Parker told his kids he was going to grow his mustache back until he won again. So now I guess he gets to break the razor out.
Got the 9-pin out that time. Possible 206 for Norm Duke. About 90 short, as Doug Kent just said. Doug, a fellow proprietor as well. Beautiful Rose Bowl lanes. Norm's out playing to the crowd right now, having a good time. There it is. And you hear the fans at Anderson really appreciate the bowling today and the tournament this week. Little Duke there for you. This will put him in 200s. There we go.
Well, one of the greatest players of all time couldn't figure out a way to get his ball to strike more than 206 if he strikes here on his fill, and that just is a testament to how tough the right side got. And Doug Kent just said the game before position round, he says, I don't understand. He shot 299 against me.
There we go. And 206 finish for Norm Duke.
Two of the greatest champions our tour has ever known right there.
I'll tell you what, it's an honor to have them both here bowling for the title match in my center. That makes me very proud. This is why I do it, Randy.
Well, as a proprietor, you couldn't have asked for a better, two better players for your title match.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, just awesome. One more shot here, puts him in the possible 290s. Doug Kent just kind of fell out of our booth here. Come on, Parker, one more. Oh, and a 7-pin. Come on, try harder. Try harder, Parker. Doug Kent's over here. You bum! You bum! But a nice spare here and an awesome 279 for Parker Bohn. Attaboy, Parker. Well done this week. So proud of you. So proud of you. Turning it over to Randy Peterson, going down lane. On the lanes for a great interview with Norm. And Parker coming right up.
How about a nice round of applause for your champion, Parker Bohn III. Parker, you led by so many pins after qualifying, only to relinquish your lead with a couple of games to go. What was going through your mind with the last couple of games of match play?
Well, I just had to try to do what I had figured out more than anybody else all week. And when I say that, get the right hand position in there, just relax my hand and make a good shot. If I make a good pass at the ball, the lane was in the right form that, well, it would formulate it and get it to the pocket pretty much high flush, a lot of shots.
So what was going through your mind during the Stepladder finals when you saw the ball reaction the right-handers had versus the ball reaction you knew you had?
Well, I knew that my ball reaction was going to continue to get better outside of the front part of the lane, hooking a little bit there early. As long as I could get it away from that front part of the lane there, clear it through the front, then my shot was only going to get better, and unfortunately for their side, it was deteriorating. I know Norm bowled great, obviously, all week. He's one super champion, that's for sure, but Norm, great tournament, buddy.
Yeah, Parker Bohn, you don't win multiple Steve Nagy awards without being the kind of guy you are. I know it's been a couple of years since you've won out here. This is your fourth victory on the PBA50 tour. Describe what you're feeling right now.
What I'm feeling right now, I feel like I've overcome a small obstacle that was in front of me. And when I say the small obstacle, it was ×2, because both of my sons, Justin and Brandon, won big tournaments over the last 5 or 6 weeks out here. So they wanted me to be a part of it, and they wanted me to jump in the champion circle. So thanks to them for putting up the threshold and allowing me to overcome it.
Now Parker, I heard a rumor that you told your kids you were going to grow your mustache back until you won again. Does this mean that you're going to catch a shave later?
I might have to catch a shave later, but now maybe I'll have to leave it on for another week or two, at least depending on what the wife thinks.
We'll see you next week in Fort Wayne. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.